Hi guys, welcome to Travel with Austin. I'm Austin, and today we are back in my old and now abandoned middle school. You may remember I kind of did like an impromptu video here a while ago where, oh, that locker still has a lock on it, that's kind of cool. I kind of went through here with just my phone, and it was a bit shaky, and we had a fun little detour with some other people who were exploring here. But I figured I would return with my proper camera and a flashlight this time, and we would go ahead and explore hopefully the whole thing this time. I actually left out a whole block and didn't realize it. So yes, this is my middle school. I went here. So basically, from what I understand, this was originally the high school. Then when they built the new high school, and when I say new, I mean like new in the 60s, this became the middle school. The high school that was built in the 60s is now the middle school. It's a whole thing. We don't need to get into it. But basically, as far as I know, it was a middle school that whole time. Then for a while, it was an elementary school while they were building the new elementary school nearby. So you can see lots of stuff that is aimed towards elementary kids, not middle schoolers. And also at one point, something I forgot about the first time I was here is that the public library used this area for a bit. So, wow. So yeah, now it is sitting abandoned. I thought that they were going to renovate it, but now I honestly think that they're probably preparing to tear it down at some point, which does make sense. Apparently, it has been considered unsafe for years. They actually used to say it was unsafe even back when I went here. But I think that's more of a building material issue than anything. So, last time we were here, we ran into some people. Hoping this time we do not. So yeah, we were obviously just in the gym / auditorium. In this school, they were combined. Storage area. We do have this janitorial area, which also includes the roof access. And one of the bathrooms here. So last time I was in here, the two kids that were in here told me that they believe that the fire department did training in here, which makes sense given some of the cuts and stuff in here. And wouldn't be the first abandoned building in this area that they've used. You may remember I did the Shamrock Motel a few years back, and that was actually also used by the fire department for their training. So here is what was the cafeteria. Also, if you were in a larger study hall, your study hall would be in here. One of the cool things about this that, unfortunately, I know they're not going to save, are these painted ceiling tiles. So I assume these are the same exact ones that were here when I was a student. I'm not 100% sure, but I definitely do think so. So these are really cool, and unfortunately, I'm sure they're going to be gone when the building's gone. Now, in the back of the cafeteria here, we have to be careful. It was slippery last time back here. But basically, from what I remember, you would line up on either side of the cafeteria. You'd come in here. There would be a thing down each side. You would get your tray of food. You would pick your cup of vegetables, your milk. When I was here, they also had like an ice cream thing that you could pick out of. It cost extra, obviously, but I know that they did away with that eventually. Then you'd come out these two doors, and there would be lunch ladies who you would enter your school ID number, and then you would either have money credited to your account or pay cash. So here is the back of the kitchen area. You can still see we still have equipment. And look at that stove. That's probably, I mean, that's probably a expensive stove. This one is still listed as for eBay. So I wonder if they still plan on doing that or not. It hasn't been too long since my first exploration. I'll probably, like, put some weeks in between them just for the, you know, content bridge. But it hasn't been too long chronologically. So that door says exit to recess, because when it was in elementary, they had to give the kids a recess. However, this is a middle school by default. I thought that said Smosh. So it doesn't actually have playground equipment. So there's just kind of like a field back there, and they probably just let them run in the field. Which, ironically, when I was in middle school, even though we didn't have recess, there'd be some days where it would be nice. And if you got done with your lunch early, they'd let you just run out there. So here there was obviously some sort of trophy case. I really don't remember this much. So I'm not sure what trophies and stuff it used to hold. I don't know. All I really remember is that in this area is where they would set up the little booths when they'd sell things. And in middle school, very particularly, it's when they would sell Smensels, which were all of our favorites. Now, we go into this room. You can see we still have a smart board left behind, and we still have most of the smart board tools. We're just missing the black marker, which honestly might be in this room somewhere. There's also some random pictures of, I believe, teachers, because they do look older, on the ceiling. And yeah, I really don't know what any of these rooms were used for at this point. You know, given that they were a middle school, or they were middle school when I was here, then they became elementary school, and some of them were used for the library. Now, I will say that I probably had class in some of these rooms and don't even remember it. So see, this room is like a weird shape. Very weird. Yeah, sorry, I'm taking a look. Okay. Taking a look at the map, just because last time we missed a whole section. I don't want to miss it again. But my battery is also kind of low, so I don't want to spend forever in here. It's also going to get dark soon. But really, since this is like my neck of the woods, I'm not too worried about the dark. So, a lot of these rooms are going to be the same. Some of them are definitely more destroyed than others. It is interesting because it does look like they purposely removed all of the lights from the building, which I imagine is a cost-saving measure, because they can put them in the newer buildings and save some money. And unfortunately, the schools out here, the levies fail a lot, so that is something they probably had to actually do. So, yeah. I mean, there's stuff still neatly stacked in here. I wouldn't be surprised if they're still going to move stuff out of here. But when I was in here last time, the kids that were in here said they had been in here like 6 times. And if you looked at that, this is the school logo and our school district, by the way. If you looked at the board in the auditorium, there was stuff on there that said 2023. Now, I'm not sure when this closed and became abandoned because, well, it was a surprise for me too. So here is the old clinic area. Fun memory I have in here was I was actually over there in the library, which we'll go check out in a second. And I had told the study hall teacher that I didn't feel good. And she didn't believe me and told me to sit down. Then, like 15 minutes later, I told her again. She said, fine, you can go to the nurse. And when I went over to the nurse's office, I puked. Like, almost instantly. And to this date, that is the last time I puked. Was in 8th grade, I believe, during that study hall. So that's just a fun little tidbit for you. So obviously we are now in the office area. So you can see we got lights hanging down from the ceiling. I did not spend a lot of time in here. Honestly, I don't think I really ever was in here other than if I was being signed in or out at a different time. Look at that, the clock still works. But yeah. So there's where the front entrance would have been. And yeah, I mean, basically self-explanatory. You really would only have to come to check in if you were, you know, late. Oh wow, so they even have the fire system deactivated, it looks like. Now look, this is not my building, but that just seems unwise. Especially since it seems like it's been wide open. And when I was in here previously, I did think that there was a fire going on because I saw what seemed to be smoke. But thankfully, it was just some kids playing with a fire extinguisher. So this is the library. This is where most of my study halls happened. I actually distinctly remember there was a beanbag chair right here. And that would kind of be like my place during the study halls. So basically just chilled out in here and read a book. What's insane to me, I'm sure they're not really worth anything, but they left behind tons of Chrome boxes. It does look like they took the Chromebooks with them and the iPads. And as you can see, someone did bust in the windows and stuff here. They also left behind these calculators. So, or, you know what, maybe these aren't a calculator, maybe these are like connections to like a PowerPoint game. Because I remember that being something that we did at some point. Now, wow, here is basically the tech headquarters. Oh, look, there's their cameras. I'm guessing these are servers and stuff. Oh, it's for all the cameras. I hope and assume that they're not powered on because nothing in this building has power. But if they are, hey, I'm just revisiting old memories. So, ooh. I don't know what that's supposed to be, but it's kind of creepy. So, I'm guessing this was like a study room. Maybe, I remember certain things, but I don't remember that. Now, my best guess is that when the library was in here, they probably used this area, but I actually don't know. I just remember it being a huge hot topic that the library was going to be next to the school because people thought that it meant weird people would be able to get into the school, but they actually built walls between the different sections and stuff like that. So here was the computer lab. Now, what's kind of cool, at least in my opinion, obviously we had some computers in the library. This would be more like your teacher wanted you to all go to the computer lab type deal to do something. And obviously, this was before Chromebooks became really big, so at the time that I went here, they couldn't just wheel the carts of Chromebooks in. But something that's also interesting is when I went here, there was actually a separate room, and I'm kind of wondering if it was this one, because I do remember it being a very small, cramped room where basically there were just computers lined up everywhere, and it was a typing class. So that's basically all you did in the class, was you would get prompts and you type them out, and they were supposed to teach you like different typing techniques and how to type without looking at the keyboard, which is funny because it's something I can do, but I don't do it the way that they taught us. I feel like my generation and the generations that came over we had our own methods. see, oh, lots of glass in here. We're gonna back up. But as you can see, like, everything's nice and stacked in here. So I imagine that they're gonna come back for it at some point. But like, this room? Yeah, we didn't see this room last time, but you can see it's like gutted in here. There's our logo. I mean, normally it's not good to name drop locations, but this is Watkins Middle School. I'm probably not going to post this until this building's gone or in active demolition. So this is the section we did not see last time. And holy crap, what is this room? I do not remember this room at all. So if I'm remembering right, this whole section is what we called the 6th grade hallway. And actually, yes, it is. So it was kind of like a block area. And we're going to turn off the flashlight for a bit just because we're very close to a door and there's people playing sports outside. But basically, this is a little square, and in this area is where all the 6th graders would have their classes. And it was because they kind of like built you up to switching different classrooms. So like in 5th grade, okay, sorry, I'm going to take a tangent real quick. This is a room I definitely had a class in. I had a math class in here. That's probably the same smart board, honestly. I remember that the teacher who I had this class with really did not like teaching, so we watched movies a lot. And as far as I know, she is not a teacher anymore. I think she actually married pretty wealthy. So that's just a fun little aside. But anyway, as I was saying, in 5th grade, you would have 3 different teachers, and you would just switch between them. They'd all be right next to each other, so you'd literally just switch different rooms. This is interesting. I don't remember this at all. We should go back here and look, though. And then in middle school, you would have different teachers, but for 6th grade, at the very least, you would just stay in basically this block. And you would just learn the block, and then from then on, it could be anywhere else in the building, pretty much. So if I'm correct, since this is saying that it was a science room, I believe this is the room I had my 6th grade science class in. So I believe, I probably shouldn't say his name, actually. Probably shouldn't dox former teachers of my former school. But yeah, he was a pretty cool dude. I didn't really have any teachers here that were bad, per se. So we're gonna go here, though, because this is a room where I had math at one point. And I think maybe this was like the exception to the rule, because I did not know those 2 rooms connected. Interesting. But this room was always so weird because, first of all, I had this back area, and the teacher had like an office back here, and he had a desk right there, and all of our desks, of course, face that way. So, from what I remember, like, when he was actively teaching, he would, he'd be up front teaching, of course, obviously. And when he didn't need to actively teach, ooh, little carpet rider. When he didn't need to actively teach, he'd kind of just be in the back office on his computer. Now, one of the things that kids from our school always loved to make rumors about was that when he was in that back office, that he was watching inappropriate videos. We've already been in this room. I will say, as far as I know, that's just a rumor. And it's probably just middle school kids being terrible middle school kids, quite honestly. So. Oh, this is a fun room. Look at this. Got tons of books left behind. The little blocks that you learn to count with. Oh, those are so cool. I love those things so much. Again, more books. So it does look like in 2023 it was still possibly open. What's insane is, before we left last time, the kids that were in here found a bunch of yearbooks. And they showed me one. And it had the year on it, but I cannot remember what the year was. So, unfortunately, it is my fault that we don't know the exact year. So, as you can see, again, it's all just a square. I remember these weird blocked off doors that were blocked off even when I went here. I'd always wondered why. So yeah, I mean, honestly, it's pretty barren and stripped out in this area, more than the other sides. And honestly, you guys probably can't tell, but the windows are boarded up, but there's no glass in them anymore. So that means they removed the windows, or all the windows were broken. Which would explain why this side, as you can see, is almost in complete darkness, and the windows are all boarded up, but the other side is not. Now again, here is something I do not remember at all. This looks almost like a concession stand. Oh my goodness. Huh. So there's a whole cafeteria back here. I don't remember the 6th graders having their own separate cafeteria, but maybe that's just something I forgot about? I mean, it does look much smaller, and it still does look like, unless there's like a kitchen back here. No, so it does look like food would still have to be brought in. So maybe that was added at a later point. Again, my memory could just be bad. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have like no memories of 7th grade. So take that as you will. Oh, this is the Zamboni room. Just another classroom. Looks like it was a science room because we have our emergency eye wash station. Ooh, we also have a fire spray chart. Central question, what makes something electrically charged? And then it says Happy Halloween. Well, there you guys go. Learning with Austin. So, you can still see, the ground is still all messed up from them spraying the fire hydrants. You can also see we have some all-in-one PCs, some deep cycle RV batteries, and like various tech stuff that I assume that they're going to save. I would be really disappointed if they didn't save as much as they could. Ooh, we got a microscope, Fisher Scientific. It's like Fallout junk. Yes. Hopefully I'm entertaining enough for this visit. Or for this video since it's a bit longer. Even though you can't go back and start again, you can start now to make a new end. Interesting. See, like this Canon printer, I mean, I don't know the exact amount, but you just know that was expensive. So I think we've already been that way, but I'm not sure. So here is one of the walls they put up to separate the school from the library. As you can see, it has been torn down as of now, but yeah, I mean, it was there. Personally, I didn't understand the big deal, and obviously everything went fine. Wow, those biscuits aren't moldy yet. That's a bit creepy. You can see someone spilled some stuff. And honestly, I might start going a bit quicker, because because I don't want to keep you guys here forever. But since this is a place that I literally went to school at, yeah, it's like it has meaning to me. Even though I will admit, ooh, this is an art room, I can tell you that. I will admit that all of the names I've seen above the boards, other than one person who I actually know personally, I don't know any of these teachers. So, now obviously the one that I know personally, yeah, I know them, but they are just a few years older than me, so it's not like they were a teacher when I went to school here. So now we're entering the band room. First we're entering the storage room. You can see all the cages and stuff where they keep the instruments. Let's just take a look. I'm sure all the instruments are gone, but also if you want a little fun fact, yeah, everything's gone. Quinn, who you've seen in my videos before, when we were in high school, so unfortunately not in this room, he got locked in one of those cages. Yeah. So here is the band room. The band teacher was kind of a jerk. He made kids cry a lot. And yeah, so as far as I know, he didn't actually get fired. He decided to go to a university for a while, and then I think now he's technically retired. But yeah, he made lots of people cry. I did not cry, but I did get yelled at a lot because I am not musically inclined at all. Here is one of the practice rooms. So these used to actually go all the way down here. And basically either you alone or a small group would be in there practicing a piece. Also, if you needed to do exams, that's where it would happen, because your exam would be playing, a piece. So I was in percussion, which, as someone who can't keep a beat, was a terrible idea. But yeah, our percussion groups would be in here all the time, trying to practice with each other. And then if we go out here, oh, this was his office. My battery is running low, so I'm gonna have to speed it up quite a bit. So here, this used to be the choir room. I believe there used to be a stage in here, if I'm remembering right, but you can tell it obviously is no longer here anymore. Oh look, they even have the projector for the smartboard in here. So, yeah, choir was in here. I'm guessing this is the equivalent of a choir practice room. Or no, that looks more like storage. Do choir have practice rooms? Oh, look at that. It comes right out to the auditorium area. I actually did not know that all my years of going here. And then we are once again in the gymnasium/auditorium where we began our tour and where we're going to end it. So I hope you guys liked this video. I hope you enjoyed this trip down memory lane with me. I do think we saw everything in the building. The only thing I think we didn't see was the courtyard area, which I will go ahead and navigate to that to the best of my ability. To be completely frank, I didn't remember that there was a courtyard here. Oh, I don't think we went down this hallway either. Wow. Okay, so we're going to continue on for a bit, apparently. Because, I don't remember this area. Oh, that's gross. I do remember them talking about an area where it was all messed up inside. Yeah, we're going to try to do this quickly because I've kept you guys for a long time. And also, my battery is less than 10%. So, here is the courtyard area. Ooh. So, you can see here is the little courtyard. I actually don't remember this at all. It's completely zapped from my brain. So, yeah. I remember the high school having a courtyard that we could never go into, really. But I did not remember the middle school having one, which is interesting. So, now I believe we've seen everything, because here we are back at the computer lab. And see, although I don't directly remember the courtyard, I do remember this hallway next to the computer lab, which obviously was right next to the courtyard that I don't remember at all. So, as you can tell, my memory is not the best. But, anyway, now we have finally been through the whole building. Again, this is my abandoned childhood middle school. I went here for all of my middle school years. It's kind of insane to see it in this state. I kind of thought they were just going to renovate it, not let it end up like this and demolish it. But hey, if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and please subscribe. I will see you guys next time with a brand new video, and thank you so much for watching.